Ed, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing today?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Yeah, I just got a real quick question for you. I'm trying to figure out whether or not I should spend a little extra money to get a trust. I've got my will in place. I went and met with a lawyer the other day, and he tried to convince me that I needed one, and I wasn't sure that I do.
A trust or a will?
The trust.
What was he? Why did he say you needed a trust?
Well, I've got kind of a unique situation. I'm divorced. I've got 3 minor kids. My net worth is approaching about $500,000. He just said it would protect the kids a lot better and all that stuff. And I don't know. He was warning me a lot about the Arizona probate courts and all that. So I was trying to separate out the sales pitch from what I actually need. So
yeah, it sounds like you need a new lawyer if you can't separate that out, because the lawyer's supposed to be there to teach you, not sell you. And some of them in the estate planning world are good teachers, and some of them aren't. Do you know what the probate tax is in Arizona?
I don't. Okay. I don't know.
I don't either off the top of my head. Some states have a very low probate tax, like a 2 or 3%, which would be, $10,000-$20,000 in this case, and it's not worth screwing with to do a trust just for that. I don't know why you couldn't draft a will in Arizona that would leave everything to your children in a trust upon your death. I don't know why it has to be moved to a trust prior to your death. In Tennessee, I haven't had to do that. The will was strong enough to do that. But if he's saying the probate courts reverse a will in Arizona, I would be questioning whether the will was drafted properly. You see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
I mean, there's 2 different issues, okay? There's the issue of the probate tax. If the tax is really high, you can avoid the probate tax with a trust on some of your assets. And that might be worth it. Maybe. Our probate tax in Tennessee is not very high, so I haven't had to do that, okay? But in some states, it's ultra high, meaning it might be as much as 10% or something like that. And so all that to say, I want to learn a little bit more. And the fact that you're having to worry about his advice versus a sales pitch versus his advice bothers me enough to maybe you need to get a second opinion about your estate planning. Because, Ken, we always teach in every area to get someone with the heart of a teacher.
And it's because of what you just said. We don't want you to be sold something, especially in something emotional like this. And most money issues are emotional. You start talking about this kind of stuff, and somebody sells you pretty quickly on something that, and maybe in their mind, maybe it's not even sinister, but it's not sound. There's a difference between the two. And the heart of the teacher, as you've always said, when you're sitting down with a financial advisor or anybody, you need to understand what the product is. You need to understand how it works.
And why I need it.
Yeah.
You need it because it does this, this, and this.
That's right.
And you go, okay, that sounds good. Let's do it. Yeah. Or I think I'll take that risk. No.
That's right. That's right.
I'll measure that out.
And being informed, by the way, allows for greater questions. I just did a quick search. I'm not saying this is correct, but just checking into this, you're looking at anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000, the average cost of probate in Arizona. So just being informed enough to go, I'm going to dig into this myself and become a novice on some information and make somebody who's really in authority or has the knowledge, make them answer your somewhat informed questions will help you. Don't just rely on them for everything.
Exactly. I mean, again, I don't practice law, and you shouldn't practice law on Google.
No,
so you do need to gather this up, but it's good to start asking questions. Yeah. The thing I'm looking for here is the vibe.
Yes.
That I'm being taught, and I'm not being scared or slimed into something, and that bothered me more than anything else in that particular question. Amy's in Dallas, Texas. Hi, Amy. How are you?
I'm great, Mr. Ramsey. How are you guys doing?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Hi. All right. So maybe I'm a baby steps fraud, but I am in baby step 7, but I never had to be in baby step 2. So,
well, that's not a fraud. You got there. You just got to skip some steps. That's kind of nice.
But I have 7 brothers and sisters, and I finally got one converted over to doing your method, and another one is very, very interested. So where do I start them? Total Money Makeover, Ramsey Plus. I'm willing to pay for anything they need because if they'll promise me they'll do it, like you, I don't mind paying for it.
If
where do
they
I start
fully embrace it, Ramsey Plus puts more tools and things in their path because it includes Financial Peace University, it includes every dollar premium, and it's going to, we're going to be all up in your face for months on end. If you get a book, you can leave it as a coaster on your coffee table, and sometimes that happens with Total Money Makeover. Total Money Makeover's got all the information, but the activity and the proactivity of being in Financial Peace University is by far the best thing we do for money in this building. And so, if you get a commitment out of them, now that's $100 versus $20, okay? So,
Right.
But if you get a solid commitment out of them, that's the route I would go. Matter of fact, I'll just give you Ramsey Plus under the condition that you get a firm commitment to them to fully embrace Financial Peace University, go through every lesson and do the every dollar budget. If they're not going to give you that, then don't take the gift, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because I'll just stir up trouble in their house is all I'll do with that otherwise. So you hang on, and Kelly will sign you guys up, help you get your siblings signed up once we get this figured out.
One thing I would add for this, Amy, is make sure that they're ready for it. And what I mean by that is I don't mean, nobody's ever ready to do anything. At some point you have to step in and do it. But what I mean by that is they need to acknowledge that they really have a problem, because even the most well-meaning friend, family member, teacher, until the student...
Are they just nodding to get you off their back?
Yeah, that's what we're looking for, because, here's the deal. You will invest a lot of energy and enthusiasm in this, and I'm not saying they're not ready, but I'm saying as a family member here, they need to know that they've got a problem and that they're ready for a solution, as opposed to you going, I think you have a problem, here's a great solution. You give them too much and they don't see their need, it's not going to be as effective. So if to the extent that they haven't identified this,
that's a good point.
I'd help them see it.
So Kelly, what we could do is we can give her a Total Money Makeover book and tell her to come back if she gets firm commitment, and you also give her Ramsey Plus. Let's do that. That way we don't turn on a fire hose when the poor guy goes up to the water fountain to get a drink. Because that's what, if you're going to go all in, Ramsey Plus, Financial Peace University, we'll take you there, baby.
Yes.
We'll take you there. But it's not for the faint of heart, because we're going to bring it. Mm-hmm. You're going to change, man. You're going to get her done. This is the Ramsey Show. Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career. Thank you for joining us, America. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. He's host of the Ken Coleman Show, where we talk about your career. We talk about your job. We talk about all the things going on out there right now. The Great Resignation is real.
It really is, Dave. We're hurtling towards 20+ million people have changed jobs since August of 2021, and the trends look like it's going to continue to happen to the point now where you've got a lot of people just moving from one bus to the next bus, chasing, more money, hopefully a better culture. They're looking for meaning in their work. They're looking for a leader who cares about them.
That's what they should be doing.
That's well.
In some cases, they're just jumping.
Sometimes they're just going just for the paycheck, which you and I know
is a short
wears
game.
off.
Yeah.
It has profound negative effects on your health, your life in so many ways when you just aren't doing something that you find meaning for.
So one of the guys I've read a lot lately and I've enjoyed, and just because I like how he stirs things up,
yes,
he's an edgy thinker and a brilliant mind, is Jordan Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lot of things going on out there. And there's a thing gone viral on TikTok of him talking about working the miserable job. I want to play that clip, and then Ken, have you comment on it.
Say, I have a job I hate. It's like, well, yeah, but I'm not dying from it. It's like not as bad as it can be. So you think, well, I can't jump out of this job because what about all the risk? It's like, yeah, no kidding. You got to get your resume in order. You got to send it out. Then you have to go get interviewed, and maybe you're not any good at that. You have to come up with a story while you're a good employee. What about all these risks if I go look for a new job? What about the risks for you to stay with this job you absolutely hate? Well, let's think that through. Okay, so I have this dead-end job. I hate it. I'm getting bitter. Where am I going to be in 5 years? You're going to be just like you are now, except a lot more of what's good about you is going to be gone, and a lot more of what's terrible is going to be amplified. And
because it kills your spirit somehow.
Oh, man, yeah. So it's like you think, oh, my God, there's a terrible risk in pursuing this new job. It's like, yeah, there is a terrible risk. There's a terrible risk in you staying with your job right now. One of the things that's really, really freeing to understand is that you're screwed no matter what you do.
That last line's positive.
Yeah, I have. While he's a brilliant mind, I take issue with two things he said there. First of all, that's just not true. You're not screwed to whatever you do. I mean, we've got 1,000 people here that would testify to that not being true.
No, I mean, he's screwed. He's saying you're screwed if you're in a miserable job and you look for it. You've got the risk of looking. And
I know
that.
what he's saying.
And the risk of staying, and both those risks, either one of those two options, you're screwed.
If
you look at it that way, but I don't think you have to. I don't think you have to look at it that way.
I don't. That's my point. I don't think that you have to look at changing jobs as super risky.
And he likes to argue. I'd like to get him on here to argue.
I'd love to argue with him. As you know, I enjoy a good argument as well. But here's my point. It doesn't have to be so risky. Risk is basically a acknowledgement of I'm afraid that something bad is going to happen, or there is a high probability
you don't have
that
to quit without having a job lined up.
That's my point. Number one, if you move to something that you actually are qualified for, and you have a high probability of doing a good job, and you have good character, guess what?
And the people you're working for are good,
and they're not jerks.
And the work they're doing is good.
That's right.
And honorable.
So now the probability of it working out is skyrocketed, and that's the reality.
And
that's
if you get hired for that job before you quit your other one,
that's the other thing.
I don't know where the risk is.
That's my whole point.
What's the risk? Your life's going to get better.
Well, I'll tell you what
you're screwed either way.
That's right. Let me tell you what the risk is in not pursuing work that you actually are good at, talent, that you actually love, which is passion, and that actually you connect to the results of the work. That's mission. Here's the risk, Dave, that you get to the end of your life and you are full of regret because you never pursued that contribution that somewhere in your heart, somewhere along the way, you knew you desired to make. In fact,
now delineate for me the difference between I hate my job and it's sucking the marrow out of my bones, and I just discovered this is like work, and it's not always perfect.
Yeah, big difference.
Because I also run into people on the other end of the spectrum who quit at the drop of a hat.
Right.
The first time they encounter any kind of obstacle, like someone for the first time telling them they're not beautiful, pretty, and smart, and oh my God, their little feelings, and they're gone.
Well, you just identified what's really going on.
But I just
no. Well, I'll tell you, you've identified what's going on is that they've been psychologically shaken, and here's where it comes from.
Work.
Well, by a phrase that we've adopted as truth, and we've all heard this uttered before. I don't even know who came up with it, but it's if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And that's a bunch of hogwash.
I've said it.
Well, it's garbage. Let me tell you why. You and I work our butts off. We do love what we do. But we have hard, long days here sometimes. Really hard days.
And some days suck.
Some days do suck. This idea.
And some seasons.
And some seasons suck.
In a calling.
Yes, sir.
Will suck.
Yeah, that's where.
And don't confuse that with, because if you have the expectation snowflake, that every day is going to be easy and you get a trophy at the end of every day and you eat gummy bears with John Deloney at the end of every session.
Right.
You know, if you get this, if this is your view on life, you're about to get disappointed, puppy.
You will spend your entire life wandering.
Yeah.
Like a tumbleweed through the old Western movies.
That's different than stay in the job no matter what for 22 years and you hated every moment
That's
of it.
unnecessary suffering.
Those are two different things.
Yeah, you are settling in that case. You are settling for mediocre, or you are settling for below average, or you are settling for suck.
So let me tell you, Jim Collins talks about this. He and I were having a discussion about it in person not long ago. And he talks about it in the last book, Great by Choice.
Yeah.
He said people are not afraid of something that is a stated that they're not afraid of real problems most of the time, but ambivalence,
Yes.
not knowing,
It's the
scares
number one
people
fear.
to death.
Yeah.
And so sitting in your job, not knowing what Peterson was talking about,
Yeah.
those two kinds of things. Not knowing causes you to not move. That scares people to death.
Yes.
So the way you get past the not knowing is you go through your 7 steps.
It's the 7 stages in the book From Paycheck to Purpose. Get clear is stage 1. Why is clarity so important? You just addressed it. What Collins is saying is
Ambivalence will kill you.
when it's like driving into deep fog. Or a heavy rain to where you can't see past the hood of your car. That is terrifying. We immediately pump the brakes. We pull over the side of the road. It's the same psychological feeling when someone goes, I don't know what my future is. I don't know how I get there. I mean, that's a real problem. And so it is a paralyzing factor when we go, I don't know. So why is get clear so important? When I'm clear on all the different things I can do.
Even if one of the options is painful.
Of
as
course.
long as I'm clear, that's better than not knowing.
Well, if you
That's
show
what
somebody,
Collins' point was.
Well, let's look at the context of the Ramsey Show. For decades, we've celebrated people, and we will celebrate today people that have gotten debt free. When you showed them a clear path via the baby steps, they knew how stinking hard it was going to be. They went to the first couple classes of Financial Peace University and were like, are you kidding me? This dude that's yelling at me on the screen, I got to do that? They know it's going to be hard, but they still do it. Why? Because they see on the other side of it. They see freedom from debt. And
no
in this
discipline
case,
seems pleasant at the time, but it yields a harvest of righteousness. We can do it.
When we see a desired future, we will endure pain.
So I
suffer.
completely agree with, that was a 50-second clip. I completely agree with 47 seconds of Peterson.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you're screwed either way. I don't agree with it.
I don't agree with that either.
It's classic
It's
Peterson.
a great line, yeah.
It's classic Peterson, but
Right.
you're not, you are screwed either way if you freeze.
Yeah, and if you accept the
If
fact,
you accept the fact that risk is the only way to get out.
That's right.
You can limit the risk by following a very clear path and a clear process for landing the other position that is better pay, but more importantly, a better environment with a better upside.
That's right.
Better people and a better product than you're
Yeah.
doing now, and you can leave the dumpy job with class.
and never
After you've given it a fair shot.
Yes, and know that when you went into it, here it is. The 7 stages are get clear. I know what I want to do, why I want to do it. Then I got to get qualified. That's the ticket to the dance. I got to get connected, Dave, because that's where opportunities come to me. I'm not beating doors down. Then I'm going to get the opportunity to get started. Now I'm focused on getting promoted, climbing up. I'm going to eventually get that dream job, and then I'm working like no one else to give myself away. I've made gobs of money, experienced tremendous meaning. Now it's about leaving a legacy. Those are the 7 stages in the book From Paycheck to Purpose, and they work, by the way. Nothing risky about those.
Paycheck to Purpose at RamseySolutions.com. This is The Ramsey Show.
Still on baby step number 1, eh?
How'd you guess?
With healthcare costs rising, learn how Christian Healthcare Ministries can help you make the most out of your budget. Visit chministries.org/budget.
Don't worry, it's worth it.
In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Diane is with us. Hi, Diane. How are you?
I'm great. I'm excited.
Well, we're so honored to have you. Where do you live?
I live in Charleston, West Virginia.
Oh, very nice town. Very cool. Well, welcome to Nashville. And all the way here to do a debt-free scream?
Yes, sir.
How much have you paid off?
I've paid $31,718.31.
I love it. How long did that take you?
36 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
I'm on Social Security and a small pension. I've was between $19,000 and $20,000
Per year.
Per year.
And you paid off $32,000 in 36 months? How did you eat?
God provided.
I'm telling you, manna. Oh my goodness. So what kind of debt was the $32,000?
Well, it was a personal loan. It was some medical, credit cards, and what else did I?
That's good enough. Good job.
Yeah,
well
that's a
done.
good
Oh,
list.
my mortgage.
Oh, your mortgage. You paid off your house.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, there's that. Looking at a weird lady. I love it. No house mortgage. Woo-hoo. Way to go. Very cool. All right, so you are 100% debt-free.
I'm debt-free.
How long has it been since you were 100% debt-free?
I've never been debt-free. I was never a natural saver. I raised my two daughters alone, and I spent, what I needed to spend. I didn't.
Yeah.
I just couldn't save.
So you're a retired single mom.
Right.
And how old are your daughters?
Well, my oldest daughter has passed, and my youngest daughter is here with me today. She's going to be 50 next month.
Awesome. Very cool. What'd you do? What was your career?
I worked as an accountant or accounting clerk. And,
bookkeeper and so forth.
Yeah, I worked for Blue Cross and Blue Shield for years. And
Okay, good. And that gave you the money to raise those kids, and
Right.
and here you are retired and only $32,000, and you knock it out.
I knocked it out.
So what happened 36 months ago? Because this is a big change for you.
Well, 36 months ago, the beginning of my story was in 2016. I got a call from my granddaughter that lives in Wisconsin, my daughter's daughter, and she told me that her mom was in the hospital, and I had no savings or anything. I couldn't get to her. My oldest daughter was kidney failure in the hospital in Charleston at the same time. And I had no way to get to Wisconsin. And I called my church and some friends from my church and asked them to pray for some kind of a solution. I didn't know what to do. So they rallied around and come to my house and gave me money to get to Wisconsin to see my daughter, because I didn't think she was going to make it. She was in a coma, and they didn't think she was going to make it. If I wanted to see her, I had to find a way. So my church rallied around me and gave me the money. And then my grandson was there, and he drove me. We didn't have time for a plane, so he drove me all the way.
Wow. Wow.
So then
That's a poignant wake-up call.
Yes, it is.
So you're saying, I got to do something. I'm not going to be in this position again.
Right. Never again. So then my oldest daughter passed in 2017. And so I was just an emotional wreck. So I had to do something to go through the grieving process and get over her situation too. And it just I didn't know what to do. So I started with essential oils and, just to help me emotionally. And it really did. I felt like it really did. But I went gung-ho with it and overboard and put it on a credit card and just run myself, into debt. And then...
How'd you get connected to us?
Well, a friend from church had, I think in 2015, they put a financial peace class at the church, but at the time I didn't feel like I needed it, or they asked for $100 and I didn't have $100 at the time to pay for it, so I didn't join it at that time. But I knew after all this happened, I knew who I could contact. So I contacted them and asked to borrow their book. That maybe I didn't know if you all had a book, to teach you how to do it or what, So I asked for the book, and so I read. It wasn't the Total Money Makeover. It was like a money book. I'm not sure.
Complete Guide to Money.
Yeah. So I read that, and then in July of 2018, I normally would have a cookout with my oldest daughter, but she had passed, and so I was alone at that 4th of July. So I just got on YouTube. Once I read that book, I got on YouTube and started asking about Dave Ramsey and all that.
All that.
How can I get out of debt?
Yeah.
But I did pray. I asked the Lord, Lord, I need to get out of debt. And so I started binge watching YouTube and your shows. And
you are not the normal demographic that binge watches YouTube. I'm just telling you.
I know.
That would be your granddaughter.
I was desperate to get out of debt, and so I did binge watch and went back and just, I don't know. I heard you tell about the first debt-free scream, and I thought, and then when I saw the debt-free scream, I thought, this is the plan that I need.
I'm going to do this.
This
here
is
you
the
are.
plan.
That's so good.
And
Here you
I'm
are. All right, I'm going to do something that would cause my mama to whip me, but I'm going to do it anyway because
boy.
I think you're precious.
Oh, boy. Are you going to do it, Dave?
Yeah, I'm going to do it.
Okay.
I got to know how old you are.
I'm 74.
74. Okay.
I was 70 when I started this, and
All right.
in July of 2018.
And the reason I wanted to be inappropriate, for those of you that are listening, we have the benefit of looking at this beautiful lady. Yes. But those of you that are listening, I want this to get your highlighter out and say anybody can do this, and it's never too late.
That's good.
Right.
Because you're a walking billboard. You're incredible.
Thank you.
You are amazing.
Thank
On
you.
$20,000.
And you are inspiring. You did this on no money. Yeah, $20,000, and you pay off $32,000 in credit card debt from the essential oil thing went bad, and get the mortgage paid off and everything else. Wow, I'm so impressed with you.
The story behind the mortgage payoff, when I first started, I only owed about $6,000. And so I paid it down to like $2,500, and I was just, I'm a Facebook junkie, so I put it on Facebook.
This is a high-tech lady here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I put it on Facebook that, woohoo, I'm down to $2,500 on my mortgage. And so my brother-in-law that I hadn't seen for 30 years, hadn't talked to him because my husband and I were divorced, and so we wasn't close or anything. But his wife had a Facebook page. He wasn't on Facebook, but he stalked her. So he saw that, and he said usually at Christmas time he would find a family in a church or something that he would give to. So I was in Wisconsin that Christmas with my daughter, and I got a phone call that his wife had said, my husband saw your Facebook page, and he wanted to pay it off. So
I don't want to run out of time. You're amazing. Thank you so much for being here. That's an amazing story. You're an impressive, impressive lady. Thank you. All right, it is Diane in Charleston, West Virginia. $32,000 paid off in 36 months. House and everything. Retired on Social Security, making 19 to 20. She did this. This is an amazing lady.
Yes.
Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. I'm debt-free!
Wow. That came from the soul there.
Woo-hoo! First time in 74 years. This is the Ramsey Show. So here's the deal. If 74-year-old Diane can pay off everything in 3 years on Social Security, I think all your excuses were just completely ripped out of your hands, and you get to go, that's pretty much a mic drop in your face. Some of you have been whining and sitting around talking about how the economy's bad and Biden's in the White House, and you got all these deadgum excuses while Diane just goes and does it.
Yeah.
Boom.
It's amazing.
Hey, when the team gets together at Ramsey Solutions, we talk a lot about our mission to change America's toxic culture. It makes us mad to see people trapped in debt or to watch kids sign away their future for a student loan. And for the folks that work here, this is not a job. It is a mission. If that sounds like a passion that you share, you've got to check out all the exciting roles Ramsey Solutions is looking to fill ASAP. There's never been a better time to find a job doing work you love. We've got need for developers, UX designers, writers to help us build digital products that actually do something. They change people's lives. To see what it's like to do work that matters with us before you apply, you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook by searching Ramsey Careers. Apply for your dream job at RamseySolutions.com/careers. And you could actually go from paycheck to purpose the way Ken talks about. Not
That's
bad.
exactly right.
Open phones at 888-825-5225. Cole is with us in Chicago. Hey, Cole, what's up?
Hi, Dave. Not too much. I don't want to take too much of your time, so I'll give you a little snapshot of what's going on with me. So I am $157,000 in student loan debt. I have $121,000 on a mortgage. I make $65,000 base with a commission that brings me to around $100,000 at the end of the year. I'm going through a divorce, and once it's finalized, I'll have somewhere around $50,000 in cash to my name at that point, and I just need a point in the right direction on what I should do to be a good steward of my money.
How long have you been married?
Just 2 years, but we were together for 7.
Okay. Wow, I'm sorry. What's your career field?
I'm a lawyer.
Okay, all right. And how long have you been practicing law?
This will be going on 4 years this May. I'm in private practice now, and prior to that, I was a deputy prosecuting attorney for the state.
Okay, all right. So now you're making a little money for the first time. That's good. And,
Correct.
Okay, because you were starving before. Compared to your $150,000 in student loan debt to get the law degree anyway.
Right.
Yeah, that doesn't exactly set you up for junior prosecutor money when you got $150K in debt. You need more money, and so it's a good thing you're making some. So what we teach, Cole, is to work your way through all of your debt except your home first. It sounds like you don't have any debt except the student loan and the home. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And so I'm going to take the $50,000 and I'm going to throw it at your student loan debt. I'm going to leave $1,000 in a baby starter emergency fund. We call that baby step 1. 2 is get out of debt, everything but your house. And I'm going to roll up your sleeves because you don't have anybody to hold accountable except the person in your mirror. You don't have to talk anybody into anything except the person in your mirror now. Your life is very clean and very simple. Sadly, and I'm sure your heart's broken. I'm sure it's not been a good process, but you're there. And the bad news is you're there. The good news is you get to make a choice now, and you can get after and knock this debt out in no time. I mean, how fast do you pay off $100,000 making $100,000? I'll help you with this, 2 years or less. You live on beans and rice, and you knock this stinking student loan debt out. Otherwise, you're going to be like your other broke lawyer friends walking around with debt around your neck 15 years from now because you haven't dealt with it.
Right.
Get after it, dude. That's what I would do if I woke up in your shoes. I would use this opportunity and while you're healing from the broken heart and the grieving, the messed up situation you've gone through, and there has to be some of that, even if it's a fairly lightweight situation. It still breaks your heart, still leaves scars and scratches on your face, metaphorically, hopefully, only. And so, you got to go from there. But the good news is it's a clean, blank slate, and I just roll up my sleeves and get with it.
I would too. To that end, I would be asking, how can I increase that commission? So I think he was on about a $65,000 base or somewhere in that range, and he's getting up to 100. At this point, he needs to heal anyway. He doesn't need any relationships. I'd be thinking about how I could use that law degree. You're in private practice. How can I increase that commission? Because as I increase that commission, that's it. As I increase the commission, I increase my speed of which I pay off that student loan.
Yeah. And so I'd lean in and throw the $50,000 at it, get on a really tight budget, not have much of a life, and just tear into work. And for a short period of time, pay a price so that you're free for the rest of your whole life. Yeah. Too many people look at medical degrees and law degree student loan debt as something you're going to have around for 20 years when you have the income to knock it out in 2 or 3. And, in your case, it's 2. Because you got this $50K to throw at it. That's what I would do if I woke up in your shoes. Hang on, I'm going to send you a copy of the book, The Total Money Makeover, that'll give you the exact steps on how to do that. Amy's in Wisconsin. Hi, Amy. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, nice to meet you guys and be on the show.
Sure. What's up?
So this question is more so for Ken, because it's regarding my career. So just a little bit of background. I'm 22 years old. I've been a nurse now for almost 3 years. I guess it's not exactly what I'm passionate about.
You completed nursing school and passed your bars at 19?
Yeah, I just turned 20 when I
like an
graduated
overachiever. You got with it.
Yeah. But my senior year of high school, I was between dental hygiene, and even wanting to be a dentist and nursing. But I feel like my parents more so pushed me the nursing route, and now I don't know if I'm totally satisfied and happy in my career.
Why? We have a short amount of time. What's the number one cause of uncertainty about nursing? What is it?
I just feel like it's caused me a lot of issues with anxiety and even, some depression. I was working a lot of nights in a hospital, and now I've transitioned to a clinic setting. And I feel like right now my anxiety and it's a lot better now that I'm working normal hours and it's less.
Well, and you kind of came through a pandemic that's a once in 100-year event.
Yeah, Amy, here's what I want you to do. I'm going to give you a homework assignment, okay? I don't want you to make any decisions based on what you've experienced in the past. We're going to start fresh today, and we're going to get clear. I want you to clarify and verify. So number one, I want you to walk through what is better about the clinic side of things than the hospital and the hours. If your hours were better, and I want you to talk to nurses who have better hours and maybe work in not just a clinic environment, but other nursing environments. I want you to do a full-scale kind of research project into the areas of nursing that you don't know a lot about, and look at the hours and go, what was driving the anxiety? Okay. And maybe even see a counselor. Not a bad idea. Okay. Now, before you make a decision about dental hygiene or being a dentist, same thing. I want you to hang out with some dental hygienists, coffee, lunch, and get the ins and the outs, the ups, the downs of that type of work before we make any kind of decision. We can't let emotions make us move from something. We have to allow our brain and our heart to actually get on the same page. And when we're hurting, we're not very clear. So A, we want to get healthy if we need to get healthy emotionally. That'll give us greater perspective. B, I want you to do some actual research on other types of nursing and the dental hygiene. And in doing all that, here's what I know. That is a process called clarify and verify. And when you clarify, the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs of nursing and dental hygienic work or being a dentist, here's what's going to happen. Your heart will verify which direction you need to go. Don't make any decisions until you do that.
And the last 2 years are not a good platform to make a decision about your career from. I would have quit doing this if the last 2 years were the reason to do it. So it's just all
It's true.
So, good God. Oh, hang on. Kelly's going to send you a copy of Paycheck to Purpose. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from the Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where dad is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author of the book Paycheck to Purpose, is my co-host today. He also hosts the Ken Coleman Show, where we talk about careers and work and loving your job and getting a new job and all that kind of stuff. And, of course, we talk about your relationships here, your money here, your marriages here, your parenting here. It all shows up here on The Ramsey Show. Ken, the other thing we talk about on this show is the horrible, awful,
yes,
greedy, rich people.
Yes.
I'm so sick of the greedy rich people that are taking over the world, and the poor little guy who won't work and go get him a job and make him some money, he just doesn't have a chance living in his mother's basement playing Mario Kart.
That's right.
I'm
so
sure
we
that's
need
what
to
he's
tax
doing.
those horrible
I'm sure
rich
that's what he's
people.
playing. It's probably Mario Kart.
Yeah, they need to give their fair share over to the
greedy rich
feckless,
people should
wandering
stop
punk.
being rich.
Yes.
They should stop being successful.
Yes, they're
because we
hoarding it.
all know that everyone that has money is by definition evil.
Yes,
It
they're
is
all
the
Scrooge.
answer of we know this is the answer, and if we fix this, socialism will do it for us.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get some socialism, and everyone should get a trophy,
It's true.
and no snowflakes should melt.
That's correct.
This is true. And so everybody ought to have a chance. It's just awful, these greedy rich people, because what we try to do every so often on the show is we try to feature a greedy rich person and the horrible things that they are doing in our culture today. Today we're going to pick on the greedy rich person, Elon Musk. Elon Musk says SpaceX Starlink satellites active over Ukraine after a request from embattled countries' leaders. He's made his satellite time available to the Ukrainians for free.
Yeah. Putin knocked out their internet, and so he got a direct appeal from the president of Ukraine. He said, sure, hold on 1 minute.
I'll move a satellite over there. Something you can't do unless you're Elon.
Yeah.
I can't move a satellite over there.
I can't either.
You can't move a satellite over there, but we're not greedy rich people.
What's that joystick look like, by the way? Like somewhere at SpaceX, somebody's got essentially a joystick or something, or is it all computer keyboard? I don't know. These are questions I have.
Yahoo News reporting Vladimir Putin's unprovoked invasion has left parts of the country without internet, while SpaceX has launched thousands of communication satellites to bring broadband to hard-to-reach areas of the world. We should bring the internet to hard-to-reach areas of the world because that's what greedy rich people do. Because, of course, we know that those hard-to-reach areas of the world, those people pay a lot, and they're going to make all their money back. No, they don't have any money, you doobs. Okay, so just in case you're wondering, but anyway, users on the ground access the broadband signals beamed back to Earth using a kit sold by SpaceX. While you try to colonize Mars, Russia will try to occupy the Ukraine. While your rockets successfully land from space, Russian rockets attack Ukrainian civil people. We ask you to provide Ukraine with Starlink stations to address sane Russians to stand. an official from Ukraine tweeted this at Elon, and Elon did. He moved the satellites into place and are making them available to the Ukrainians for free.
And this just happens to be, obviously, one of the richest people on the planet, a very well-known brand, and obviously an extraordinary current event. But what I know about a lot of rich people is if the general public, especially all the snowflakes who want the rich to pay their fair share, if they had a scintilla of evidence.
Oh, look that one up. Look up scintilla. That's a small number.
It is. It's a very small number.
Yeah, it's a micro
very
number.
Small. But if they had any clue how those rich people give every day to do extraordinary things for people, they would shut their mouths and sit down. They just don't have any clue. You know why? Because good rich people
don't debate this with facts.
Oh, I know. I'm not
use
debating.
Facts.
I'm just laying it out.
Don't use actual numbers and research. That would be that's not the way you argue things. You're just supposed to be emotional and go on Twitter.
Isn't it funny? The irony is those are the people.
If you add up what people in North America, in the United States of America, private citizens give to charitable causes and people in need every year, it dwarfs the entire economy of most small nations.
Yeah.
But we don't talk about that.
No.
Because rich people are evil. And they should be punished, and they're not paying their fair share.
That's right.
Senator Warren is after Elon Musk because he didn't pay the taxes she thought he should pay. That was a mistake because he apparently hits back, a little clap back there, and wore her butt out. But, yeah.
It's true. It's extraordinary.
As we say down in Tennessee, she bit off more than she could chew there. So there's a problem. But, yeah, just one more evil person doing horrible things in the world, making free broadband available to the Ukrainians by moving his own personal satellite over their nation to cause it to...
I know.
Not something I got up this morning and thought I could possibly do.
Yeah, he didn't send
Hey, babe,
a bunch
I think this morning I'm going to move a satellite.
Right.
These are not conversations I'm in.
No, he didn't ship a bunch of food and clothes. He moved a satellite or two or three. It's extraordinary. Giving the country internet.
Apparently something the United States of America government couldn't figure out a way to do.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah, it's impossible because I'm sure that would
It begs the question, Dave, are you going to go to space?
Am I going to go to space?
Yeah.
Dude, I live in space.
Lolo, seriously, this guy, SpaceX, this is going to be
he's going to let me go?
Well, it's not about let you. He'll take your ticket.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to pay for this in 3 to 5 years. I'm just asking, would you go if it's affordable in your mind?
I'm waiting on my credit card to frequent flyer miles to build up.
Well, then you're not going. That's a good one. I like that. That would be rich. Dave Ramsey finally gets a credit card so he can go to space. Not going to happen.
Oh, I don't know, Ken.
I think you would. You strike me somebody that would try that.
I just did my first about 18 months ago. Did my first parachute.
I know.
I'd done that's the first time I'd done that.
What was that like? Skydiving. We've actually not talked about it.
It was a blast. It was an absolute adrenaline rush.
What was your fear factor on a scale of 1 to 10?
I thought I was going to pee my pants. That's what I figured. I was going to be that guy.
That would be the least of my worries.
I thought I was going to be crying like whatever.
Right.
And you know what? I never got nervous. They did such a good job prepping us.
Right.
And the company was so professional.
Right.
And they've got these cool things that they hook to your parachute that if the guy you're strapped to dies and his doesn't come out, once you reach a certain altitude, it automatically deploys your chute.
All right.
So I'm like, this is really completely idiot-proof. I mean,
now
there's like 4 chutes involved. One of them is going to go off. I think I'm going to be okay.
So you went
I probably had more risk driving over there, than I did jumping out of the airplane. So I was not. By the time I got up there, I was excited, but I was not.
Now,
nervous.
Did you have the instructor?
Yeah. That's the only way to do it now.
Front or behind?
With rookies. With rookies, they have to be in. Let's see. You're in front of them.
So you're looking down at no obstruction.
Yeah, we're flying.
You're just looking at the earth,
flying and
hurtling at you.
So fun.
Very impressive.
That was a blast. I'm going again, Adrenaline rush, man. When I got to the bottom, we went to eat breakfast. My hands were shaking. Not because I was tired, but the adrenaline dump.
I could only
imagine.
imagine.
It was so fun. So maybe I'll go fly with Elon.
I think he's going to go to space.
I don't know. Right now, I'm just concerned about Elon's generosity. I can't believe he's an evil rich person of this magnitude.
Well, you can bless him out when you're on the shuttle with him.
That's it. You evil rich people, stop your generosity. You're giving evil rich people everywhere a bad name. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. Well, it's tax season, and I don't know anyone who loves that unless you're an accountant. The truth is, most of us dread filing taxes. It makes us mad, it's a pain, it's confusing, and if filing taxes wasn't bad enough, the software most people use hits you with extra fees, or worse, they try to sell you all kinds of products, especially getting you into debt. But filing your taxes does not have to be horrible. We created Ramsey Smart Tax to give you software you can actually trust. Smart Tax has steps that are simple and clear, so you know you've done your taxes right. No more headaches, no more second guessing. We'll never tack on a surprise fee or sell your info to some scummy company. When you sign up for Ramsey Plus, it's even easier. You actually file your federal taxes on Ramsey Smart Tax for free. Now, what that means is you go to Ramsey Plus and you need to start a free trial and get into Financial Peace University and get into Every Dollar. And part of that package is when you're in Ramsey Plus, you get to use Ramsey Smart Tax free. So that's how you ought to do it. Go to RamseySolutions.com/Ramsey Plus and start you a free trial. RamseySolutions.com/Ramsey Plus. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. That means even if you mismeasure or you pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. Free samples, free shipping, and new promos all the time. This is an incredible American company. If you need window coverings, window blinds, use the promo code Ramsey at Blinds.com.
Today's question comes from Paul in Virginia. When I went to college 25 years ago for a BS in engineering, it served me well both in knowledge and getting a well-paying job. My wife and I planned on paying for our 16-year-old son's college education, but we assumed it would end in him achieving a degree. Instead, he's considering a technical certification in audio engineering for live performances. The certification is $12,000, but we are on the fence about whether this is a wise path to pursue. Unlike in my day, good-paying jobs now don't seem to always require a traditional 4-year degree. What are your thoughts on a technical certification versus a traditional college-based degree? And would you pay for your kid's technical certification, assuming it was something widely recognized in that industry? Well, the first part of the question to address is, does the destination scare you? Or is it the path to the destination? So what I'm saying here is, as parents, I don't know what's really driving you being concerned about his future. If it is being an audio engineer and being successful, then you can help your son do the research, and you as parents can see what does a path look like, where are all the different ways that audio engineers can go. Then the certification itself, it's not about is it widely recognized. The issue is it absolutely necessary to get your son that entry-level qualification necessary? And so if it is a reputable program that gives a mandatory certification, absolutely, I'm fine with that. But I think the fear here is the destination, and where do you want your kid to go with a college education? Because my twofold question for parents is this: is college the only way for your kid to get where they want to go? And if it's not the only way, is it the best way? If you've got a no to either one of those two questions, then there is going to be another path, and a certification is the way to do it, or it might be a trade school. But ask those two questions and answer those, and it takes away a lot of the fear of the unknown.
So the trades and technical certifications are worth more than a lot of college degrees in terms of getting a career. A diesel mechanic right now is making $100,000. Okay, a master's in social work's making $38,000. Okay, so let's just talk this through. I mean, that's what you're, if you're looking at that. And so, but are all college degrees bad? No. Are all technical certifications superior? No. I mean, you could get a technical certification in making pottery ashtrays and be broke the rest of your life. Okay? Because there's not a big call for ashtrays today. Pottery ones for sure.
Sadly.
Okay, just saying.
Yeah.
Unless you live in Sedona, right? So, but there's a thing here, right? So, so if you go get Microsoft certifications, and you load up on those, in the technical world or in particularly in security, in internet security, you can make a couple $100,000 and never set foot in a college. So yeah. You can go that route. So the question is not specific, if it's broadly, are technical certifications an okay way to go in today's world? You're dadgum right. They actually always have been.
Yes.
But no one just admitted it because we were a bunch of college snobs.
Right.
And college was the only way, and college was the only way, and college was the only way. And then college became so stinking expensive and people got stupid about the stuff they were studying to the point they've just about invalidated a 4-year degree. But 4-year degrees are still valid if you study something that's actually applicable in the marketplace. But getting a degree in left-handed puppetry is still stupid, regardless of whether it's a certification or a 4-year degree. I don't care what it is. Not a big call for left-handed puppetry. You're going to have trouble with this one. So this is the problem. So then you go back to this individual question and say, okay, what's an audio engineer's life look like? I live in Nashville. They live on a bus because they're out on tour. That's what an audio engineer does in this city, unless they're the top of the top, and then they're in the studio producing albums.
That's correct.
With the producers on the slide,
And
right?
do quite well.
Moving the slide, right? And so the audio engineer in that setting, they're gonna know the mics. They're gonna be able to make the sound happen for the artist. And in a town where music it revolves, they got a hard road, and they don't make a lot, and they're on a bus. They're a glorified roadie. Okay. Except for the best of the best of the best, unless you're touring with freaking Brad Paisley or something, okay? Or you're in a studio situation. And in this town, that's what audio engineer means. Now, we've got some in the building that do really good.
Yes.
Working for us, we're spoken word. We're not as hard to tune up as music is, except for my voice. But anyway, so you got to look at it and go, okay, what's he want to do and why does he want to do this? Oh, 3 of his beer drinking buddies are hanging out with some band guys. Well, this is a dumb butt idea then.
That's right. Then the concern is valid. But here's the other thing. If you do some research and you find out that, audio engineers are somewhat limited financially, you got to be careful, parents. You still don't step on your kid's spirit while still guiding them. So, for instance, dig into why audio engineer. What do you like about the work? Dive in a little bit deeper, and what you might find is some clues. Well, not might. You will find some clues that you can then say to your kid, hey, so you like doing this, this, and this. Here's a couple of other paths that allow you to do similar work that have a greater opportunity. And all of a sudden your kid goes, oh, you're not trying to redirect me, Mom and Dad. You're actually diving into why I love or why I'm interested.
Yeah, because if why you're interested is 3 of your beer drinking buddies think it's glamorous to travel in the back of a bus.
Yes,
these are people that have not traveled in the back of a bus.
That's
all right?
correct. I've
been on buses on tour. I've toured. Travel is glamorous for people who don't do it. That's what it is. And so it's a pain in the butt. You learn to hate airports and TSA, buses and diesel smell. You learn to hate all of it. It's what you do to get to do the 5 hours of fun that you get to do when you do actually get to the city. And so if they think, so you need to dig into what is he really looking at here. I don't know what he's really looking at. I'm just calling out what could be going on with a 19-year-old. So, but your discussion is a good discussion. That's why we're having it, and that is the technical degree or the technical certification route, if it is a valid and booming area of the economy, yes. I would do that. I would not tell my kid to go get a 4-year degree in information systems right now.
No.
I would tell him to do technical certs and learn learn programming, learn whatever it is on technical certs, and open up that way. It's a lot shorter path.
Oh, sure.
And the stuff you're studying on a 4-year college campus in computer science today is outdated. By the time you get out of school, it's completely useless.
Yeah.
and because stuff is changing too fast. And if you're not got your fingers in it all day long right now in the technical world, you're just out. You're already behind. I know. I can tell you when a computer around here is obsolete when we get it out of the box. It changes that fast. Yeah. And so you got to look at what is going on with the cert. I mean, are you willing to? Welders? Oh my gosh, what welders are getting paid?
Oh, you can get. A kid
so
can
what is
start
it?
at $50,000.
Got a real hand-eye coordination thing going, spatially intelligent.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. So there's lots of times we are we're good, big fans of the trades. We're big fans of certs, but all certs aren't good. You need to know where it's taking him. What Ken was saying was really good advice. Where is it taking him? Where is he going to end up with this path? And then you go about the path if that's what's necessary. This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're considering a career in technology, I recommend Bethel Tech, and I'm not alone. Here's what Brendan said. Before Bethel Tech, I was driving Uber. Within 4 months of graduating, I got a job paying $60,000. About 2 years after that, I got a remote job that pays me $130,000, all thanks to what I learned at Bethel Tech. You could be next. Get started today at BethelTech.net and get $1,000 to $2,500 off of your tuition. Again, it's BethelTech.net/Ken Coleman.
Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we talk about your life and your money in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Chris and Brianna are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good. How are you, Dave?
Better than I deserve. Welcome. Where do y'all live?
Pensacola, Florida.
Cool. Welcome to Nashville.
Thank you.
And all the way here to do a debt-free screen.
Absolutely.
How much did you pay off?
$158,704.
Good for you. How long did that take?
21 and a half months.
Good for you. Excellent. And your range of income during that almost 2 years?
120 up to about 160.
Good. What do y'all do for a living?
A paralegal.
Up until a month before we finished, I was a private investigator, but thanks to Mr. Coleman, I did some networking and used the proximity principles and landed a job with an insurance company.
Oh, wow.
So, very nice.
Very cool.
It's great that he was here today. So
I love it.
Cool.
What do you do? What do you do at the insurance company?
I'm a field claims rep now.
Oh, good. Good for you.
Yeah.
Nice move.
Yeah.
Okay, so what kind of debt was this $159,000?
Well, we had 2 credit cards, a car loan, a 401k repayment loan, my student loan, and our home mortgage.
You paid off your house.
Sure did.
Look at it, weird people. I love it. What's this house worth?
About $265. Yeah.
It's all yours.
Yes, sir.
All yours.
And when we made the last payment, when we got home, we took our shoes off and walked through the grass. We sure did.
And it felt different.
Yes, sir, it did.
It's your grass.
That's
I like
it.
it. Yeah, baby. Whoop, 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 whoop.
So I got to ask really quick, Chris. There's a lot of emotion on you when you told us that. What's that from?
Well, before I met her in 2005, I had both of my kidneys failed.
Oh, my.
And, I was just a broken human being at 38 years old and started all over. And when I met her, about 2018, we started talking about a life insurance, and it was hard for me to get. It was expensive. And then she'd been listening to Dave for a while. But in 2019, we're on our way to Virginia, and she goes, "Do you want to listen to a podcast?" And I'm
You're
like, "Well, there's
sneaky
no way."
that way, are you?
So
sure.
After about 10 debt-free screams, I looked at her and I said, "We can do this." And she goes, "You think?" So in 2019, we were right out here. We went to a concert. I took her to see Hootie and the Blowfish at Bridgestone in September 2019. But on our way home, we pulled out in that parking lot, and I said, "This is where we're going to be as soon as we finish this." But just that feeling when you have a kidney transplant, you think it's all over, and you don't know what you're going to do about life insurance. Something happens to me, she would have to struggle. But there's no more struggling. We're free. We are free.
That's beautiful.
Just like you say, Dave, you live like no one else. Later, you can give and live like no one else.
I love
it's
it.
Just I wish everyone could feel what we're feeling. I wish they could.
That's powerful, man.
That's great.
That's powerful. So, Brianna, how'd you run into us?
A friend through church was doing the program and just kind of checking it out. So I heard about it that way and started listening to the podcasts.
Okay. And so then you used the old get in the car for vacation sneak attack.
Yes, you did.
That's a good sneak attack. You're trapped in the car.
Right.
You can't go anywhere.
But it's just amazing. Everyone has their own journey, and just to know that we made it. We were willing to do whatever it took. But she's taught it 3 times at our church, Financial Peace.
Oh, thank you.
So
wow.
We're true believers.
Wow. Very cool. Wow, that's fun. Good for you guys. All right, Brianna, you're teaching the class. You guys did it. House and everything are paid off. New people come into the class brand new, and they say, okay, how do you do this? How do you get out of debt? What do you tell them the key is?
Budget, and you've got to work together. You just have to work together.
Yeah. Budget, and you got to. How long y'all been married?
11 years. This past December was 11 years.
Okay. And how many of those years have you been working together on money? Since the podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really,
so about 3 years.
Yeah,
3
3
years.
years now.
Yeah, out of the 11. And now your house is paid off.
Yes, sir. It sure is.
That's pretty key
quick.
advice right there. Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's still surreal when you wake up in the morning. It's hard to believe that you don't have a payment. I don't know anybody. We don't know anybody anything.
Wow.
It's amazing.
And he's got a job he likes.
And yeah, absolutely. And kudos to you. But you know what I heard there is that you don't fear physical harm anymore because you know she's taken care
Absolutely.
of. I mean, that's peace. I know peace is different for everybody. It's very personal. But that's a big deal, man. I imagine you get up with a little extra spring in your step.
I can't even describe it. It's like sometimes I have to pinch myself. This is real.
Yeah.
This is real. And Dave, I know people have said thank you, and I didn't do anything, but you've provided a roadmap, and the passion in which you do it, it's infectious. And we listen every morning. We've listened at dinner, and those debt-free screams are what kept us motivated. And I think that's what everyone just keep motivated. It'll happen.
And now you are one.
Yes, we are.
Oh my gosh, Brianna, what was the thing about this that you thought was really going to be hard, and it turned out to be easier?
You know, I thought that the work that would go into it, that just being together on this, because we had been, we were older a little bit when we got married, and we were very used to being sort of on our own, working hard, but kind of in our own directions. I think it was a little easier to maybe get on the same page than we thought it may be.
Rice and beans has nothing on dialysis. I can tell you that.
Oh, great statement. Hey, let me ask you, in this process did you change jobs?
It was a month before we finished. I was a manager for a private investigative company during our journey, and about 4 months in, before I changed jobs, I was burnt out. There's nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
And I'd been talking to one of our clients, told her that I was interested in being a claims rep, and she, we talked, and she gave me a few ideas, told me how to tweak my resume just a little bit, and within 2 months, I had a phone call and interview.
How big of a bump did you get?
It was about $9,000 and a company car.
Hey, all right. Good for you.
Wow, good.
But it's something I really enjoy, and it was something new, and it just challenges me now. I mean, I'd been in that PI business for 28 years, and just wasn't a whole lot left for me to do.
Yeah. Well, way to go, you guys. So fun! Whoop, 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 whoop. Well, we've got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires. That's definitely the next chapter in your story. You are on the way. Well done. Well done. You got your investments going now, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Good. So you're heading that way. Good. Good stuff. And a copy of Total Money Makeover for you to give away. Thank you again for leading all those classes. It makes a lot of difference when people have a place to go to a class, and being a coordinator it's a good way to stay on track yourself, but it's also a good way to a good type of generosity to lead one of those classes. It's a fun thing to do. So well done, you guys. Very, very well done. We're so proud of y'all.
Thank
you.
You're amazing. Woohoo! Paid for house and everything. All right, Chris and Brianna, Pensacola, Florida, $159,000 paid off in 21 months, making $120 to $160. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt free!
Yeah! Oh, this is how it's done. Well, it never fails to show up that the Ken Coleman Show with getting yourself in the right career from paycheck to purpose shows up in the middle of a debt-free scream. They all work together because this whole thing that we teach at Ramsey works together. It's not a separate. It's not separate subjects that happen to bump into each other.
No, I mean, it turns out when you enjoy your work, you're better at it. You make more money, which means you can get out of debt faster. Keep in mind, he did it in the middle of their baby steps. It didn't throw anything off.
Oh, he actually made more money.
He made more money, and that's the whole point. We want you to have a bigger show. And I got to say, it's just really amazing. When you hear that kind of guttural scream, when somebody goes through tremendous pain or a tremendous challenge, and you get out on the other side, that's the kind of release you see, and it's just beautiful, just really impressive. What a great couple. And, he's talking about motivation, your why, your why, your why. For him, he didn't want a physical thing to leave his wife in any kind of a tough situation. What's your why? Connect your why to this journey. It's going to go fast.
Yeah. And the weirdest of all is now that there's no debt, his health always improves.
It's amazing. Yeah. Although after that scream, I do want to have his kidneys looked at.
This is The Ramsey Show. Thank you for joining us, America. We're glad you're here. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life, your money, your career, your relationships. It's all right here on The Ramsey Show. Arnold is with us in Miami. Hi, Arnold. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Thank you guys for taking my call, Dave. How are you and Ken doing today?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Good to hear. So I found you guys about 6 or 7 months ago, and I'm on baby step 6 now. So being at baby step 6, obviously my intention is to pay down the home as fast as possible. But I wanted to revisit step number 4. So with my current employer, between their contribution and my contribution, I'm at 15%, but it's a pension. So outside of that, I also contribute to 15% in mutual funds. I want to know, between the 15% that I'm doing in that pension and the 15 in mutual funds, is that too much? Is there like a calculation where I can determine whether I should be saving more of that money?
So you're saving 30%. You're saving 30% of your income.
Right, essentially.
Yeah, that's too much. Yeah, that's more than we would recommend while you're in baby steps 4, 5, and 6. We would recommend you save 15% of your income, but not what your employer puts in, but what you put in. What do you put in, and whatever you put in is 15% of your household income should be going into retirement at baby step 4, and the rest of it starts going on to 5 kids' college if you don't have that, or if that's taken care of. Then beyond that, everything else goes on the house until the house is paid for. Now, this is just temporary for the 5 to 10 years that it takes to pay off your house. When your house is paid off, then boom, you head right on out, and you load up everything. You max out everything at that point. Dallas is in Utah. Hi, Dallas. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Can you hear me okay?
Sure. What's up?
Hey, so I just have a question for you. My wife and I are finishing up baby step 2 currently. We live in a townhome right now that we bought a couple years ago, but our goal is to buy a house or build a house in the next 2 years or so. My question is, with all of our credit cards canceled and all of our other credit gone, is that going to drop our credit score down by just paying our mortgage to where we wouldn't be able to get a construction loan. Love to get your advice on it. Thanks.
If you have closed every single thing except your mortgage, you should get your credit score should almost disappear. But if you only have a mortgage payment, you should be able to get a loan. You may have to go to Churchill and do manual underwriting because you're kind of a little bit in no man's land, because you actually do have you have an account that's open. It's your mortgage, so you will be you could be generating some kind of a credit score, and it could be a low one. But what you've got to do is just show get someone that's making a loan based on common sense, meaning that here we have a guy debt free that has all of his income except his mortgage available to pay this loan. And so, yes, you would qualify. But if they only make the decision on a credit score, you may not even have a credit score. So you wouldn't be able to get it then anyway. So you got to do someone that does manual underwriting.
Okay. And would that work for a construction loan as well? I'm not too sure on that.
Well, it depends on who's making the construction loan. Same situation. You've got you may be working with your local credit union who's looking at the actual facts rather than a simple number. The problem with credit scored lending, and it's showing up everywhere now, it's the problem with a lot of dumbed down things, is that if people can only make decisions based on the number, they miss out on good customers because they miss out on the nuances of the situation. For instance, I have a 0 credit score, and I've got net worth of hundreds of millions of dollars, but I can't borrow money from someone that only makes a loan based on a credit score. So the joke is I can't rent an apartment, but I can buy the complex for cash. So that's the thing you got to remember about this, and you just got to decide how you're going to work into it. And you're heading in the right way, but there is no magic pill here. And keeping all your stupid accounts open just to qualify for a mortgage is a really dumb idea. And really, that's what we get into all the time, Ken.
Yeah, and here's the deal. He's going to be able to, with the financial direction they're in, they're going to be able to build, they're going to be able to buy. I understand the source of the question, but the reality is people that live debt-free, you can do it. You don't have to have a high credit score. So it's a little bit of unnecessary fear, but that's what the financial institutions have been driving at everybody. It's almost like everybody thinks the credit score is the ticket to a beautiful future. And
because they've made it one.
They've made it that, yeah. But you can do it without it.
Oh,
you really
absolutely.
Can.
Absolutely. All right, Gabriel's with us in Detroit. Hi, Gabriel. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, how are you guys?
Great, man. What's up?
Good news and bad news. Bad news, a lot of debt. Good news, how are you guys? The other bad news is I was here before. I was a listener. I started the baby steps. And then probably the last 2 years, I want to say, it just started falling off, the wagon, getting back on credit cards, thinking I could pay it by the end of the month. And that turned into, within 2 years, roughly $35,000 of credit card debt. And I'm at a point where the last 6 months, it's been extremely difficult to just maintain. So I went the route of consolidating my debt and paying this company who would brokerage a deal. At that point, 7 months into this program, I'm extremely skeptical. I'm not as aware as I thought I was what's happening with the money. And it's like I never really had the reins in the first place, but now for sure I don't have an idea where the reins are. And I'm pretty much at the point where there's no more savings. And
how much credit card debt did you run up, Gabriel?
30, 35.
What do you make a year?
I make about 70, and my wife makes about 25.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you have $105 or $95,000 household income and $30,000 in credit card debt. Okay, how much is your car debt?
Car debt, I have $13,000.
Mm-hmm. And what's that car worth? What's that car worth?
There's two. One's a minivan, one's a truck. The minivan is I owe $5,700 on it. It's roughly a $6,000 minivan. The truck currently it's under repair, so I'm trying to get it back on the road. But that one is probably worth 9 or 10, and it's at about $7,000 in debt on that one.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And how long you been married?
Married since 2009, so going on 13
So are
years.
you and your wife? You sound kind of depressed a little bit, like down in the dumps.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So are you tired enough of the chaos and the disorganization to now fix it?
Finally, yeah.
Yeah. And hopefully this time for good? Never go back?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've been where you've been, where you are. I've done stupid and got the opportunity to live through it, and you're going to be okay. But here's the thing. There's a tremendous power and joy in taking control again, cleaning up the mess, lining it up, and starting to knock it off one at a time, one at a time, one at a time. And that's going to involve canceling your contract with the stupid debt consolidation people, getting the credit cards out and cutting them up. We're going to get you on a budget. You're going to sell so much stuff the kids think they're next. You're not going on vacation, and you're not going into a restaurant. But you knew I was going to say all that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Now, the question is, are you going to do it?
Yes.
Okay. Then I'll show you how. We'll get you into Financial Peace University. Hold on. Kelly will sign you up, and I'll pay for it. And the two of you get in there. But by God, Gabriel, this time do it, son. Do it. Life's too short to live this day like this. You're getting the crap beat out of you by this stuff. Time for you to stand back up and shake it off. Move on to the next thing. I understand. I'm not picking on you for falling off the wagon, but let's go fix it. Last time. Forever. Hold on. Kelly will pick up.
Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from the Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, host of The Ken Coleman Show, and the author of the best-selling book, From Paycheck to Purpose, is here. We'll be talking about your careers. We'll be talking about your work, your relationships, your mental health, your parenting, your marriage, and your money. We do all of it right here at The Ramsey Show. Thank you for joining us. John starts off this hour. He's in Colorado. Hi, John. How are you?
How you doing, Dave? Appreciate you taking my call.
Sure, man. What's up?
Well, I've been an on-off listener to you for a few years now, and I don't think I've ever heard this question posed to you before. What do you guys have advice for somebody that's kind of living with the death sentence? And if I may, give you a little brief overview of what my situation is.
Sure.
Well, when I was born with my leg, shorter than my other one. I went through a bunch of surgeries. The first one, I was 7 days old. Went through about 13 more. Went to the Shriners Hospital, which was a great facility there in Houston, Texas. Got fixed up with my leg. Well, ended up with an autoimmune liver disease. My body started thinking my liver was a bad thing, and it was probably due to all those anesthesias, drugs, et cetera, et cetera. So I ended up getting an autoimmune disease since I was 17. I'm about to turn 50 years old, Dave. here in April. My mom and dad, they've been married 53 years. I've had a very strong, church-bound, very strong family behind me. My mom told me that I had a brain just because I couldn't dig ditches. I wasn't going to be some SSI kid, and she was going to make me use my brain. So I went through college. They didn't have much. I had to keep my grades up to pay for all my schooling. I did become an MRI tech. I've been an MRI tech now for 28 years.
Wow.
But I've been having this a roller coaster ride of, off and on of these meds. And 7 years ago, I was probably, up for a liver transplant. I refused to do that, Dave, because I'm just plain out tired. But I did my own research, and I found a way to fix myself, and it bought me about another 7 years. Well, here I am at 7 years, and my condition is getting worse. Now, I make $7,791.81 a year. I can only afford to put 10% into my 401k, but I've had to pay, the route that I decided to save myself with, insurance doesn't pay, of course. So, that I took a big hit 7 years ago. So I only got about maybe $40,000 in my 401k. I only can afford to put 10 months because it costs me about $200 to $300 in supplements and so forth and so forth. So, your plan doesn't seem to be a viable plan for someone like me. They're telling me now that I probably got maybe another 7-8 years. I don't have any debt other than I just bought a townhome last year. I just paid off my car. I'm looking for another beater because right now you don't want to buy a car right now because the prices are through the roof. So I'm just kind of hoping this thing lasts me for a while. I do have a small little Roth IRA with only about $3,000 in it. I stopped going there because I wasn't comfortable with my financial advisor that was advising there, so I just stopped contributing to it as a point. So I'm basically sitting here thinking that I have a life insurance. I want to be able to leave my niece and my nephew something, and my sister. My parents are in their 70s. I'm close to them, so I go down and take care of them best I can. But like I'm saying is I know I'm never going to be a rich person. I just don't even have the time to do it. But I want to be able to find, it's been difficult to me because I want to find some financial advice that somebody that's appreciative of my situation.
John, I can't imagine facing what you've been facing. I mean, you've been a fighter. You've been a fighter your whole life.
Yeah, it's been rough, Dave.
And every time they tell you you're done, you get another 7 years, is the story I heard. So I'm not sure you're as done as you're describing. And I suspect that something will come along, and if it does, you'll find it, that will be a way to do this. So here's the thing.
Well, basically, my question is, Dave.
Okay, go ahead.
My question is basically, Dave, is I want to be able to make sure I'm not wasting money on all these insurances and stuff that I got, crap like that. I want to be able to leave them something, but still I want to be able to enjoy my life right now.
You're not wasting money on insurance if it's taking care of you.
Okay.
And taking care of you is more important than you leaving a niece or a nephew something.
I have like Aflac policies, and I know you're not a fan of those, and I have crap like that.
Okay, then get rid of them. Then get rid of them.
Well, I don't.
Get good health insurance. Work your plan. Work your ASA.
I have it through my work.
Okay.
I have it through my work.
Right. Then don't buy
I have all that said. I just want to make sure that I'm not wasting money. You got the wrong goal.
Your goal of leaving your niece and nephew money is the wrong goal. The right goal is take care of you.
I'm fine right now.
No, you're not. You're not. You're not fine. You don't have any money. You don't have any margin in what you're talking about. And you're sitting here telling me that the idea of living on less than you make and avoiding debt and building up wealth is not for you. Well, it is for you. Do you have exactly the same timeline as everyone else? No, you don't. But you're a fighter.
I guess that's what
you're a scrapper, and what I would do is I would have you build up savings, stay out of debt, which you have done a great job of, and don't leave a bunch of debt behind. But don't worry about having an insurance policy for a niece or a nephew. You need to take care of you. And what money you can scrape together, let's spend on your health and on some solutions and on some life extension things and some quality of life things, and spend that on you. And that is not selfish. You have been dealt a hand of cards, and you've been a scraper and a fighter, and you've done a great job. I'm very proud of what you pulled off. But I disagree with your premise that our plan doesn't work for you. Now, maybe you're going to adjust some of the nuances of it, but our plan is save money, live on less than you make, be generous, live on a plan, a written budget, stay out of debt. That's our plan, and you've done that by and large. So you've done a good job. Ken?
Yeah, I agree, John. I think that you feel some sense of pressure, and I think you have to let go of that. Find out why you feel this pressure to leave something behind for your niece and nephew. There's nothing wrong with that. That's very good-hearted. But I also think that it's created a narrative that Dave has really enlightened you to, and you don't need to feel that. If you want to live a life that you enjoy and have a quality of life, which is what you just said a moment ago, I think you have the finances already to do that, and I think that's what you focus on. And then if there is something left over, get a good financial advisor, one of our Smart Investor pros that does have the heart of a teacher. Let them guide you. You understand everything they're guiding you on, and then you leave it behind. But you need to live.
7 years or 17 years from now, when someone steps into the pulpit and delivers your eulogy, it needs to be, John was a fighter. John was a scrapper. He's self-sustained. He always took care of himself, and he was always generous. Not he left money to his niece and nephew. This is not where your greatness comes from. Your greatness comes from who you already are, John. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're not using Pure Talk for your wireless, you're paying too much. Pure Talk gives you the same great 5G coverage on the same 5G network as one of the big guys for half the cost. The average family saves over $800 a year. Go to puretalk.com and choose the affordable plan that's right for you. With their 30-day risk-free guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month. Many of you have been filing your taxes the same way with the same old software for years, but you're actually sick and tired of it. You don't like the add-on fees. You don't like the ads trying to sell you debt while you're just trying to do your taxes. The reality for most people is they think it's free, but when they get into it, it's not really free. By the time you realize you don't meet the free criteria, you put in too much time to start over somewhere else, so you pay up. Folks are making a killing off of you this way, and we think you deserve better. That's why we're offering Ramsey Smart Tax, so you can file your taxes online without paying more than you were told. Ramsey Smart Tax includes every form you need with no hidden fees, no surprises. Even have a promo code right now, and you can do the federal taxes for free. And if you'd prefer to have a priority support situation, extended audit protection, you can go with the premium version. It's a whole $20. That's rough, I'm telling you. If you're ready to ditch the other guys for surprising you, selling you out, and trying to sell you crap instead of just letting you do your taxes, go to RamseySolutions.com/SmartTax. Get started right now. RamseySolutions.com/SmartTax. Will is with us in Denver. Hi, Will. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Ken. Hi, Dave. How's it going?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Well, your phone screener tells me I have a good question, so hope you agree.
Okay.
I've been listening to you.
Sometimes I agree with her. What's up?
Sometimes you get called stupid and arrogant.
That's happened too.
Wow. Will bringing it today. This better be a good question, Will, with that kind of intro.
I'm an avid viewer. Like I get even the most obscure.
That was one of my favorite calls of the last year, by the way.
Yeah,
that's one of the most popular calls of the last year. So good call out.
Oh, it's not just popular on your channel. All the other channels are talking about it too. It's lighting up my YouTube feed. Sorry, won't waste any more time.
Okay.
So, been listening to you about half my life, like I said, and I have been very inspired by what you said about giving. I've had the opportunity over the past couple of years to, be able to give big, or what's big to me, to people on an individual level, and that's been every bit as rewarding as you said it would be. As far as the baby steps, I now have my emergency fund and recently became a homeowner. I'd like to start using some of my freed up cash to give kind of on an organizational level. I've heard you talk about the importance of feeling your giving, and I was wondering how I can go about feeling my giving when giving to a cause or organization as opposed to, just an individual.
If you can allocate some time in your calendar to interact with the people that organization is serving, even though you're not handing money directly to those people, but you're interacting with the people that it is helping. For instance, like let's just say, I'll just make up one. Let's say it's a community medical clinic that helps the underserved with medical issues in a tough neighborhood, okay? And you want to give them, I'll make up a number, some substantial money, call it $10,000, okay? That would be organizational giving, but you didn't give to the actual people, you gave to the clinic to take care of them, to support them so they can continue to do the work that they do. Well, go down there and spend a half a day and see what they do and talk to the people that they're serving. And you'll get it. You'll get it just fine. And you really should do that anyway if you can, if you're going to make a substantial gift, because that's just due diligence to make sure that your giving is going to something that is actually pulling off what it is they claim they're doing. Make sense? Make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so my daughter Denise runs our family foundation, and that's actually her job. She spends time with the ministries that we're going to give to or consider giving to determine that they're really getting it done, that they're really effective. We pretend like we're investing in a company, and we want to make sure that company is being run well because we're investing God's money.
What are red flags you look for?
I'm sorry?
What are red flags?
Just curious, what are red flags you look for when you do this vetting?
I want to know what percent. I look at their budget for one thing. In our case, we don't give to ministries that take on debt because we don't want to support a bank. We're there to support the ministry, and we don't believe in debt. So it'd be a little inconsistent if we don't borrow money, but we give to something that does. So we don't. I'm not saying you have to do that, but that's a red flag we look for. Another red flag we look for is the percentage of the charity work that's of the in total. These nonprofits are all profitable. If a nonprofit that's not profitable goes out of business, okay? It's just an accounting entry that makes it a nonprofit. So they have to be bringing in more than they have going out, or they go away. So how are they managing that, and what percentage of their top line, so to speak, their total revenue incoming is going to administrative versus actually feeding the hungry, if they're supposed to be feeding the hungry, or buying or providing medical care in the example I gave a minute ago. So I'm looking for percentages on that. And believe it or not, we've run into things that 90 cents out of every dollar is going to administrative and only 10 cents is going to help the actual people. So all we're doing is paying for people to have a job. We're not giving to the actual person that's in need through this organization. So we don't give to that one, by the way, if it's that high. Ken, what else do you think?
It's in that line. I would follow right off of Dave. After you look at the percentage of the money on administrative costs versus whatever the actual product is, the service, the type of service, I'd be hanging out with those people to see how they run their events, or whatever that need that they're serving. What's it look like? And I think you can do that when you do what Dave recommended first, which is, just get around the ministry, not just to kind of see what they're doing, but watch how they run things. One of the things I've grown up in ministry, one of the things that I think sometimes we as investors, and I love that Dave laid it out this way, we kind of overlook people because it's, they got a good heart. Well, the reality is if they're not doing as good as they could be doing, to the point where they're only kind of addressing a surface issue and they're mismanaging their time, volunteers' time, and funds, I would look at that too, not from a critical spirit, but this is an investment that you're making. And I would look at that too, because if it's poorly managed and poorly run, that's a problem too.
Yeah, it is not mean.
No.
There's a lot of need.
Yeah, a lot of need.
There's more need than you'll ever have money. There's someone out there hurting a bazillion times more than you'll have personal money that you can do. So what you're looking for is not how much the need is real. The need is almost always valid. The need is almost always real. The person hurting on the other end, the people needing assistance on the other end, is almost always very real. The question is not is the need valid? The question is, are you called to the need? Mm-hmm. Number one, and then number two, are the people taking care of them competent and efficient in taking care of the need? Otherwise, you're just wasting your money.
That's exactly right.
It's just a waste. And good intentions don't mean anything. If I intend to send my wife flowers for Valentine's Day, I get 0 points. So you got good intentions are bogus. I've got a good heart. I do have a good heart. I love my wife, but I forgot to send her flowers. I didn't, by the way, but thank God. But doesn't mean I'm a bad person if I forgot. It just means I was incompetent.
That's correct.
I didn't do my job.
Yeah.
And so you can't finance that kind of stuff, or you shouldn't finance that stuff based on he's got a good heart, the need is real, but they're not competent.
That's correct.
That's not money. That's not a place you put money. That's bad use of God's resources. And that's not to say I hate that person or I don't believe in the need. I like the person, but I just don't believe in them. I don't believe they're competent. I don't believe they're doing a good, efficient job of bringing healing to that area of need or bringing help to that
That's
area
so
of
good,
need.
Dave. Because here's the flip side. If you go and see several organizations, and let's say 3 out of 4, it's kind of like their pants are on fire. That's a warning sign. But you find an organization that's doing really good work and is efficient, guess what? Those dollars that you are investing are going to come back with a higher return.
Yeah.
That's why we're saying this.
Yeah. On disaster relief, if you put up the Red Cross beside Samaritan's Purse, blow your mind how much more efficient Samaritan's Purse is. How light years they are in terms of carrying baggage around. But both do a good job, and both are serving disasters. But which is doing the most efficient? This is The Ramsey Show. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Solutions, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today, best-selling author of the book From Paycheck to Purpose. You can gather it up at Ramsey Solutions, that's what I was trying to say, .com. In the lobby, I got a lot of Ramsey in here, in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions, on the Ramsey debt-free stage, is Ramsey. Oh my gosh. They're here! Eric and Brittany are with us. Hey guys, how are you?
Good.
Hi, Dave.
Welcome. Where do you guys live?
Tucson, Arizona.
Good. How much have you paid off?
We've paid $125,782.
Love it. How long did this take?
2 years, 9 months.
Good for you. And what was your range of income during that time?
About $75,000 to about $105,000.
Cool. What do y'all do for a living?
I'm a physical therapist, and
I'm an entrepreneur. I have several small businesses, but I mostly work in fitness.
Good for you. Well done. What kind of debt was this $126,000?
Student loans from physical therapy school.
Oh, Sally Mae.
Yep.
Kick the old woman out. I love it. Way to go, guys. So how long have you two been married?
3 years and...
3.5 years.
Yeah.
3.5 years. So right after marriage, you look up and go, oh, crap, there's a lot of student loans here.
Well, it was actually premarital counseling we were doing with our pastor that directed us towards the Total Money Makeover book, and that kind of lit a fire under us.
He encouraged us to get the book, and so we...
Can I tell you how much I love your pastor?
Yeah, so we bought it, and we both read it right away, and we got married in September, so we took September, October, November, December to figure out how to make our money work together and what that looked like, and then in January of 2019, we hit the ground running, and we finished in September of last year.
Wow. Way to go, you guys. So first order of business in marriage right after the pre-marriage counseling is get after it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like it. I like it. Good for you guys. How fun. So how's it feel to be free?
Great.
So good.
So you guys are, what were you, 27, 26?
29.
29?
31.
29, 31. Awesome. Very good. So none of your contemporaries, none of your running buddies are doing this hardly, unless you talked them into it.
We've talked to some people about it, but nobody is where we are yet.
We've made an acolyte of my sister, though. She listens to you guys religiously.
Ah, okay. We're got one on the way.
Yeah.
All right,
What's
good.
her name?
Her name's Catherine.
Catherine, shout out. There it is.
Yeah, that's worse. That's like total. Now she has to do it.
I know.
Yeah, so
We're watching.
22 million people now know Catherine's doing this. So, all right, good. Way to go, guys. Love it. So what do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is? You're very successful.
Doing it together.
Yeah, doing it together. We did our budget together, and the thing that really helped us was visual cues. I'm a visual learner, and so like we had a whiteboard where we listed all of our goals, which included like budgeting and what books we wanted to read and like trips we wanted to take and how we were going to do all of those things.
How much debt we were going to pay off.
And then I made like charts that were on our fridge that we like put every month. Okay, this is how much we paid in this month, and they were there next to our budget every month, so we could see what we accomplished and where we were going. And seeing those things every day was like the thing that kept us going.
Absolutely. I like it. I like it. Most people are more visual learners than they realize.
Yeah.
And so it never hurts to have something right there in front of you that's constantly messing with you and constantly giving you an attaboy, an attagirl saying you did it.
That was it. Yeah.
One little red line on there is a nice little thing. Get to write that on there.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's perfect. And, man, it's just, I've heard some great stories about people doing that. Visual cues are a big deal.
Yeah.
So
it definitely helped us.
Good job. Way to go, guys.
Thank you.
Very, very fun. What was the hardest part of this for y'all?
I think just like keeping going. I mean, if we really, once we got the snowball going though, we saw like we had early success, and we had, I think you had 7
individual loans and started
so,
with the smallest and got things going, and then it's like, okay.
Now, how scorched earth was your lifestyle?
We did pretty well, actually. We lived for a while in a very rural town in Colorado, and so cost of living was quite low there. And so that...
And we found inexpensive ways to have some fun in there, too.
We did a lot of
hiking,
like free
getting
things.
outdoors, that sort of stuff.
But we did pretty well, just, you know, finding ways to do things that didn't cost a lot of money, and we had a low cost of living. And between that and then the pandemic putting interest on hold, we just kept plowing forward. We were like, we are going to have this paid off before they put interest back on. We're not going to pay any more interest ever again, and that's really what got us going.
Yeah, use the advantage of that rather than going, this is a chance to kick back and slide. You went, game on!
We didn't take a break at all.
Yeah. Wow. Well, way to go, you guys. I'm so proud of you. Very well done. Who are your biggest cheerleaders outside the two of you? Pastor's got to be on it.
Pastor's on there. Our families were full bore, 100% supportive on us. The last 2.5 years, we basically said for Christmas, holidays, birthday, we don't want gifts. Cash is preferred, so we can just throw it onto that student loan.
And people did it.
Yeah,
and people did it.
My parents are here, and that's what they gave us cash. They gave us checks for all of our, you know, holidays and birthdays for the last few years, and we hardly got any like physical gifts, and every dollar that we got in went to student loans.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, and then we gave everyone updates. You know, just like this
Everybody
is how much we've done.
was excited with us.
Yeah.
So
if you're going to support this ministry, we're going to give you an update.
Yes, exactly.
I like it. Good for you guys. Well done.
So when Dave asked you a question a few moments ago about what was the hardest part, you guys were kind of looking at each other. You really got some momentum. But in that first 4 months, I believe you said, before you started in January of 19, you guys were trying to figure this out. There had to be some tension there as a couple trying to figure out the money. You're shaking your head. What was the hardest part about that 4 months of learning each other's behaviors and then making them shared behaviors?
Well, yeah, I think we were both like ready to do it. Like it wasn't a question of like did we want to do it? It was just like it felt really daunting to start. And then like we made a budget every month, and we had, you know, we printed out the sheets from your website and like, you know, we had wrote it all down. So it was all ready for us right there. But like sometimes the first would roll around and we'd be like, oh, we have to budget.
Yeah. It's like, we don't want to do
that.
It really.
So I think that was the hard part. And like getting going and
That
just
was
like,
real.
just getting started was the hard part.
Yeah.
But then once the momentum kicked in.
It is weird that first step of actually, the problem with the first month of doing the budget is you are now saying out loud, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's a little bit of fear of making that commitment because you're afraid, well, now I said it, I got to do it. You know, it's like you get sucked into the vortex, you know, and you can't get out.
Yeah.
Totally.
So,
I know I was feeling
It's intimidating. It's intimidating.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the good news is once you take that first step, it just up, and it picks up, you know.
Yeah. And it got easier as we got going and we started to understand where our money was going even more, that like we did the budget, but we didn't need it as like in the forefront because we started to figure out, okay, like this goes to this and this goes to this, and it wasn't as
It becomes a game.
vital.
Yeah. It becomes a game.
Yeah.
And the game slows down once you get moving. Yeah, that's amazing. I don't mean slows down literally. I mean that thing they talk about with athletes, when you catch a zone, when you get in the flow, everything just seems to slow down, and you can do it. You don't think about it.
Yeah.
And
it just became automatic. You know, go and get groceries. Like, oh, okay, I know I've got this number in my head. This is where I'm looking, or
whatever it was. Yeah, we were always planning for whatever. If we were going to take a little getaway, we were like planning to make sure that we were ready to do that, or you know,
budgeted for the getaway,
or Christmas, or whatever it was.
We got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you, #1 bestseller, How Ordinary People Built Extraordinary Wealth, How You Can Too. That's your next chapter to go on and be millionaires, and you're going to. No question about it. I'm proud of y'all.
Thank you.
Well done. Also a copy of Total Money Makeover for you to give away and stir up someone else's holy ruckus. I love it. Well done. Eric and Brittany, Tucson, Arizona. $126,000 paid off. All student loans. PT is now free. 2 years and 9 months, making 75 to 105. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Yeah! Yeah, baby. This is awesome. Man, oh man, oh man. Wow. This is the Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Proverbs 11:2, when pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. Teddy Roosevelt said, be practical as well as generous in your ideals. Keep your eyes on the stars, but remember to keep your feet on the ground. Roosevelt was almost as good as Churchill at popping off one-liners. Churchill might have been the king.
Yeah, I think that's a really good, that'd be a fun kind of historical exercise for nerds like us. But you're right, both of them had a way with words. You know, and back in those days, they talked differently than we talk now. You know, I mean, they said things in different words, but the depth of that statement.
They spoke more eloquently.
Yeah, right,
yes, they
right.
did.
That's a great depth statement.
I don't think either one of them ever said, yeah.
No, no.
Tom is with us in Jacksonville, Florida. Hey, Tom, what's up?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, man, we're going to make it. How can we help?
Hey, so I got kind of a scriptural question for you and then a follow-up about what I should do about it. So I took a job selling solar panels in Florida, and my original plan was to, develop my sales skills and earn money at the job while I'm building my own business on the side. And I've been doing it for a few weeks. And what I've started to realize is I'm not really selling solar panels as much as I'm selling the loans, the financing for them. And this is kind of making me want to reevaluate what I'm doing with the job. So I'll explain how the company frames the financing, and because I want to hear your opinion on that.
I know.
And then
it's okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, and then I want to know, like, if you think I should just keep it moving and focus on building my business full time instead of, doing this. So, and yeah, you might already know this, but I'll just run through it real quick. So
no, that's okay. You don't need to run through it. They basically sell it for the savings on the electric bill due to having solar panels will pay your payments. And we endorse solar panel companies in several cities, but we never endorse them doing financing, and we never endorse anyone doing financing because we don't believe in debt. And that's an obvious thing. But that doesn't necessarily affect you. That's us. And but it's a standard thing in that business. They use the savings to pay the payments is the sales pitch, and then they usually sell the paper, and sometimes they make a cajillion dollars on the paper when they sell it as well, depending on the company and how jacked up the financing situation is. Ken, how do you think you address this from an ethical standpoint?
I think from an ethical standpoint, I don't think you're doing anything ethically wrong or legally wrong, but it is in clear. It's a clear violation in your mind of your values of what you believe in, and that is okay. But I think we have to separate what you disagree with versus you doing something wrong. And so I would quickly try to look for another sales job, but I'd stay where I am until I can replace my day-to-day income. Here's why. You're probably not able to pay your bills with your side hustle. Is that true or false?
Yeah, currently no.
Yeah, so you got to look at this as a math situation. So when you can get to the point where you can pay a large portion of what you're making now, at least to take care of your basic needs, then you're ready to go full-time. Until then, you're not. So you're not doing anything ethically wrong. I'd start looking for another sales job that will allow you to make the money you're making now, maybe even more, which will continue to give you stability to allow you to grow the side business. But you're not breaking the law. Therefore, this isn't an ethical thing. This is a values thing. And don't make any crazy jumps, nothing for you to be ashamed of or feel guilty of. You've seen the light. Take your time, find something, replace it, and move on.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you can sell that you don't have to sell through financing. Lots and lots of things that it's optional. That not everybody that buys a car finances it. Not everybody that buys a solar panels finances it, for that matter. And I'm a big believer in solar panels. In certain situations, the current technology is far superior to what it was even a decade ago. And so the break-even analysis on it is real, but I would pay cash for them or I wouldn't buy them. But I say that about everything. There's nothing I would buy that I wouldn't pay cash for. If it's valid or not valid, whatever it is. Whether it's just a stupid luxury item or whether it's something that's going to actually have a break-even on it. So that's the way I view it. And so, but if this company is jacked up and, like you're disobeying your superior if you don't cram financing down their throat and you're uncomfortable doing that, then it's time to look for something else to sell until you get your side gig moving because you're not in alignment with them and you're not going to be comfortable doing it. So, hey, man, thanks for the call. I'll tell you where else I ran into that was the underwear place, Victoria's Secret. They, I didn't run into that.
The underwear place. The way that whole sentence started was so great.
Run into it, but a lady that was working there was telling me she said if they don't sell, if they're working the floor as a salesperson and they don't sell a certain number of credit cards a day, get a certain number of applications a day for the Victoria's Secret credit card, they get fired.
Oh wow! Yeah.
So, it's nothing about selling the small underwear. It's about selling credit.
That's right. Well, that's happening in a lot of retail.
There was no quota on amount of underwear sold.
No, just the financing card.
Just whether or not you got the Victoria's Secret card.
Yeah.
And so Best Buy is about the same way.
Oh, big time.
Best Buy is a horrid mess. You can get really good buys in Best Buy on things if you just pay for them, but because they don't have a lot of margin.
No.
They don't make a lot of money on TV. Those TVs are not a bad buy at all. You'd be hard pressed to beat their prices. Yeah. You can beat them, but
it's true.
But good prices. Yeah. But but they make all their money on extended warranties and on financing and the stupid Best Buy credit card. My God, they will put an extended warranty on a number 2 pencil over there.
Yeah.
I mean, I never saw anything like it. They are just unbelievable.
It's the same place that Rooms to Go's the same deal.
It's just walking. You can't even get out through the register.
No.
You got a 19-year-old hanging around your ankles until you sign the extended warranty. It's like, it's ridiculous.
It's true.
And but what amounts to is they got sideways when they realized they could make more money on the issuing of credit than they could on the sale of solar panels.
Yeah.
They got sideways when they realized they could make more money on the issuing of credit than they could the sale of televisions, or more money on the extended warranties than they could the actual television.
That's correct.
And so, used car dealers, man, some of these used car warranties are unfreaking believable ripoffs. So you've just got to, you cannot be successful at something when you feel like you're not doing right for the customer.
Yep.
Long term, you can't look at yourself in the mirror and go, I wouldn't do this to my brother. Right. I wouldn't do this to my mother. I wouldn't do this to my best friend. Then you don't need to be doing it.
That's correct. But don't make a bad financial decision, meaning leave a job without something to walk into because you feel bad. You're a good person. You're not doing anything illegal. Be smart.
Yeah.
David, here's something I got to ask you about, because you're absolutely right about, these companies like Best Buy, they understand people they are so needy for stuff that they're in the finance business. I got to ask you this. I saw a headline over the weekend that there are huge swaths of the American public that are paying several $1,000s above MSRP for a car.
Oh, yeah.
And I just don't understand why people feel like they've got to have a car that bad, a brand new car.
Sales. Yeah, I mean, it's marketing and sales. Yeah, I mean, and it's scarcity and urgency. I was talking about that the other day. Rachel was making fun of me because we had a guy call in and wanted to buy a new car, and I still wouldn't go with it because he said he could get it a sticker, and the cars are going for more than a sticker.
Right. So he thinks it's a bargain.
And that's a bargain. Yeah. So, but used cars are going up.
Right.
You think this is a trend that's going to continue for 10 years? Come on, man. It's not going to. But I have a good friend that went to look at a $100,000 vehicle. Sticker on it was 107, and the guy told him, he said, okay, so I'm gonna buy it at invoice, and he goes, no, these cars are sticker. Full sticker? You want me to pay MSRP? He goes, yeah. He goes, if you go to the other dealership across town for this $100,000 car, it's a $20,000 over sticker.
Oh yeah.
He goes, we're the good guys. We're selling it at sticker, and I'm like, oh
yeah.
I think I'll sit this one out, boys and girls.
Yeah. And that's what's interesting. The power of the people. If people would realize, if you would just say no to your urge and you stop doing this, the car dealers would have to drop the price.
Well,
we can't control ourselves.
Demand will go down. It's all about demand.
Yeah.
There's a shortage of supply and demand. And that's why it's driven all this stuff up artificially, and it's going to come right back down on some of this. Lumber, cars, you don't have to worry about those. They're going to come back down. It's not a bubble. It's just a supply-demand curve. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from the Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts.